again, everybody. Welcome to Jonny Rose's video podcast. This is Middle-Aged and Lazy. Great reviews on the first two. Today we're going to kick off with my very special guest, the star of the AWA, DN Wrestling, Ring Wrestling Stars, and several other promotions throughout the country. It's the Soulkiller. Hello, Josh. How you doing, mate?
Hello, Johnny. How you doing?
Sound all good. Warm day today, isn't it?
Very, very warm indeed. I think it was a bad idea to pick wearing black today, I think.
I'll be in the window catching the rays, you know.
Yeah.
So not going to waste any time. Going to get right into it and ask you what your first memory of professional wrestling was. What's the first thing that you remember as a kid?
Oh, my first actual memory was in 2001. I was in Butlin. Went to Butlins with my family, and they had wrestling on. Like Brian Dixon. Brian Dixon ran like things All-Star Wrestling. Was it All-Star Wrestling that Brian Dixon does?
Yeah.
And
yeah. 2001 for All Stars at Butlins.
Yeah, so they were doing a job. I think it was in the Skyline, I think. And I was turning up 3 years old. I can't remember any other match on this show except the main event, which was the American Avalanche, which was P News versus Frankie Stone. P News, yes.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong, can you? Like, I just remember as a kid looking up at him and thinking, Jesus, he's huge. Because I've never actually seen anyone so tall or so wide before. So seeing him against a person like Frankie Stone, who was a lot more skinnier and a lot more shorter than he was, seeing him get beaten up, it was like I was literally scared of being news for a while during that match. But when Frankie actually pinned him, I went completely insane. Like insane when he pinned him because P News had messed up, slipped somehow. That was like one of my big memories going forward as a kid.
Did you watch it on TV or anything before that, or is that the first sort of wrestling you've seen?
Like, that's my most big memory, because I think like we used to watch it on TV when I was like, since I was a baby. But that memory as a kid, because like early in age, you don't really remember certain things.
Yeah.
Like, so I think, pretty much that was my first memory of watching wrestling as a kid.
Would you say you became a wrestling fan from that point?
No, actually. The time that I became a wrestling fan was in 2003. And I was watching, like, I didn't have Sky, but I had like Sky 1, Sky 2 and all that. And I used to do highlights on Saturday morning. So I woke up a bit early on Saturday morning, I flicked through wrestling, and they were showing highlights of Vengeance 2003. Matches. And the highlight that I saw was Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Benoit. And that, after watching them beat the hell out of each other, I was on the edge of my seat, and these were just highlights. That really got me into wrestling as a fan. So after seeing I got hooked. So I need to see more of this. I need to see this next week. And then I need to see this a week after and everything like that. And pretty much that's how I went from there going forward. And I've been doing it ever since, really. I can't stop watching this stuff now.
With Benoit and Eddie being in the first sort of WWE match you'd seen at that point, really, the first one that you remember at least, would they be your heroes?
Yes. Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit are my idols. I've literally watched a lot of their stuff. Like, even literally, they were the reasons I wanted to get into wrestling in the first place. Just by watching all the matches that they saw. Sometimes I would literally, as a kid, I used to get like a DVD. Like, there was any DVDs like from these DVD stores. If Benoit already was on the card, I got them.
Yeah.
And just kept going to watch them because they just stuck in my mind of how good they were and how smooth and how rough them two looked. Wrestling wise, I just loved them.
Was there a point in your life that you realised that it was something you wanted to do?
For a very long time, like I think since I was like 5 years old, I wanted to be a wrestler. Always wanted to be a wrestler, but because people always used to laugh at me because if nobody knows, I suffer with cerebral palsy for a shoot. So I always wanted to be a wrestler. It's like to the point where I drew like myself in my wrestling trunks in the back of my workbook in school, like writing stories. And I never really thought I was going to be a wrestler. It was just a dream, but it was. I needed to give it a try. I needed to give it a big try to try and do what I wanted to do. If I could never do it, I would just say, "All right, that's fine, that's no problem." But I wasn't going to give up until I got it, and I managed to do it in the end.
Well, you're certainly a good advert for living the dream. To be fair, because cerebral palsy aside, it's not stopped you in any way, is it?
No, like I think I've been wrestling for like a very long time in my eyes, and my body feels it. And it's just something that, even though that I've been doing it for as long as I have been doing it, I still love rocking up to venues, outside of the ring, singing the lads, and wrestling for the crowd, big or small. So it's just a dream I don't want to wake up from. And pretty much, I'm happy doing what I do, and it's just like the best thing that's ever happened to me.
So how did it all start then? How did how did you get in touch with the first sort of training session, or the first time you got involved in any way?
Well, I actually found this out a couple of weeks ago, because like I thought I started training in 2010, but actually with this pandemic going on, it kind of gets you more closer to friends that you don't speak to for a long time. And when I used to like speak to I ended up speaking to one of my old mates, one of my old wrestling group mates from school, and he started the same time as me, doing training. He didn't live it through, but I carried it on, and it was in 2011. And I remember looking up training schools. I literally thought there's only training schools in America. I never really thought these would happen. Like, I didn't know there were any in the UK at that point. But then, like, I looked it up on Google, and I literally thought and saw wrestling schools UK. So, I need to give this a look. So I looked down, and there was like a wrestling school in Dudley in Everton, and they called RWS Wrestling, and it was 30 minutes away from my house. So I said, "Go on in, I'll go give it a go." And it was on a Saturday. I rocked up, and that's where I met the trainer Kevin O'Neill, and pretty much I paid for my session, and he pretty much taught me from the start, like my basics and everything. And I was just said, "This is what I need to do." And I kept coming back for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I never stopped. To be fair, like I've been doing wrestling ever since.
You trained, slightly after you did with Kevin O'Neill with the Hunters, did you not?
Yes. Like,
did you go straight there from being at Kevin's?
Yes. Like, I remember with Kevin, there were times where it was getting a bit frustrating there, because his training was like he would give you like drills, he would warm you up and blow you up, but then he would leave you to yourself and sit on the sofa and play on his phone.
So it's kind of the blind kind of thing.
Yeah, and I was paying like 10 quid for 3 hours every week. And so I was talking to one of the trainees who was Biohazard, and he's passed away now due to cancer. But he said, you look like you're not happy here, but I know you still want to do it. So he got in contact with the Hunter brothers, and because he knew the Hunter brothers, and he sent me all this information, like in Tipton, Dudley Port, and I literally just went, you know what, I'm gonna let you do this. I'm gonna go up to the Hunters and see what they did. And when I rocked up, it was like you were in the army, and I was just late. They blow the hell out of you, like with these drills. But it was a good learning experience because then you realise how tough it was.
Was it a vast difference to Kevin's training?
Oh, hugely. Like Kevin would like warm you up, but wouldn't go as far as what the Hunters did. And the Hunters were more close to it, so they nitpicked and everything and told you like this isn't the right way to do it. Do it this way, and like try to mold you in a different direction. The way that Kev was. Kev didn't really do a lot when it came to like after your basics. He didn't really give a damn. But with the Hunters, they just want to make you better and better and better each time. And that was pretty much their goal going forward. And that's what pretty much gave me my confidence to step out into the wrestling world after training with them.
Did that lead you to your first match?
I was a referee before I became a wrestler. I was a referee for a company called KPW.
Great way, you know.
Yeah. I was a referee for a company called KPW, which was based in Wolverhampton, and I was doing refereeing there for a year. I literally just turned up to the show. I was only like a few months into my training, and my dad always used to tell me that if you don't ask, you'll fall for life. If you do ask, you'll fall 5 minutes. So I just wanted to know what was it like to be on a show and everything. So I went up to some wrestlers and asked, and he got me involved with the promoter. And he put me a referee job for like a year, and then I made my actual in-ring debut in 2012. In 2012, around Easter time. And this was like a pub in Sedgley, and I wrestled Mark Morano. I wrestled a guy called Mark Morano who was stiff as a board, and he pretty much, yeah. And that was my first like wrestling experience going forward. I was there for like another year or two, and then I left. Then I left KPW. And that's where I kind of like blended into the HW and AWA lot, which is where I met you lot.
When you were at, is it KPW? When you were there, were you still training with the Hunters?
Yes, I was still training with the Hunters. The Hunters didn't really mind where I went as long as I was working. I was going training there every week. I was going training there every week. Experience. That was pretty much. That's what separated them from Kevin, because Kevin didn't really like you going in places. Didn't like you going to train in different places or wrestle in different places as long as you wrestle for him, which was a bit of a nightmare. You wanted to get more experience going forward. And the Hunters, because they weren't related to a promotion, they just wanted people just to go out there and get experience. And that's pretty much what I did. And I was happy doing what I was doing. And Lee and Jim weren't bothered about it. Like, they were happy for me to do it.
Yeah.
Which is why I consider them as great trainers.
So from your promotion in Wolverhampton, what was the next step?
I left there in Wolverhampton in 2013. And this is where I met you guys in HW. I was contacting you on an occasion. But then I met you in September 2013, which was when we had a Johnny Kidd seminar in Kidderminster,
Right, yeah, I
Istanbul.
remember. Yeah.
And that's where I met everyone. I was like so nervous because there was I didn't know anybody. All I remember as I walked into the hall was this bald guy with glasses on by the ring, which ended up being you. And you like came up to me and shook my hand. I think we were talking with each other on Facebook for quite a bit before then. And I used to and I've pretty much been there ever since. I've been at HW slash AWA, I've got to get this right, for pretty much, well, I've been around you guys for these 7 years September, and I actually did my first for you in I think it was February 2014 in Cloudstop.
Right,
If I can remember my first match with you guys. And
do you
you
remember
guys
what was your first match for us?
It was a rumble.
Right.
It was a rumble. Right. For I think it was like a charity title or something like that. And I went out first with the Punisher, Lee Russell.
Yeah.
And then I remember going in there, like we did our thing, but then number 3 was Lewis Blaine. Lewis Blaine came in and he beat the crap out of me. Like shots in my chest was like mincemeat, and Lee joined in. And I think for most of that match, I got the living hell beaten out of me. But by the time you came to me, you were like hitting me softly. I just went, what the hell? I've never hit this stuff before. Jesus Christ.
Those that say I've got a reputation, fuck them. So you've just proved them all wrong.
Yeah. Like, you were like the softest fucking guy that ever hit me. And I just went, Jesus. Like, I never really felt anyone that hit me so softly. So I didn't know what to do. I was literally like saying, but I still sold it. And it was a great experience being around you guys. I haven't laughed that hard in so many years before then. And it was such a great laugh. I've been with you guys ever since, like you know, I've been with you for over 6 years. And I'm still a part of AWA now, and it's something I love. I love, and I have a lot of time for AWA, and they will always be my family. I will always picture them as my family, and that's what you need in wrestling. You need a family.
Okay, yeah. I've rarely kept anybody as long as you've been here, so you've obviously done something, you know.
I know. I don't know how the hell I've done it.
I've probably fell out with someone before, so long before 7 years.
I know. I think all of us are like we've had our ups and downs over the time, but that's just normal. That's just normal.
That's family life, isn't it?
Yeah, that's family life. We're going. I think I have more fallings out with my mom than I do with you. With my family more than I do with you. But like, so, I'm still. Carry on.
You came into HEW and you were the natural, right? James Blade.
James Blade, yes.
You've had, just in HEW / AWA, you've had about 417 names. Do you want to list just a few of them? Just like the first 100.
Oh, the first 100. I'll name the first 1,000. What don't I name that? I came in as a natural James Blade. That was the gimmick I was pretty much went under in KPW, and I just moved it towards then. But then, as the later time went on, the gimmick was kind of like getting stale. I was growing a bit too big for my boots, a bit too cocky. So I decided to change the name. Well, with a bit of prodding from my peers, to change my name. So I changed my name to Josh Andrews, which is a name I still keep on a rare occasion, depending where I'm going. Like, I've had so many gimmicks underneath that name. I've been Reborn Josh Andrews. I've been the Golden Boy Josh Andrews. I've been like the Sultan of Snapchat, the Pharaoh of Facebook, the Czar of Twitter, and all that. The idol of Instagram, the mighty of MySpace. But also for a time, I was Josh Janetti, which was a gimmick you came up with. I think it was like me teaming with.
Yeah, I came up with.
Well, it's clearly a gimmick you came up with, and I
think we've found the one with the Soulkiller though, right? Because it's cracking. It's a keeper, isn't it?
It's literally the perfect gimmick, and the story of the Soulkiller. There's two versions of the story that came with. For I've always wanted to be a gothic character. I'm a goth in real life. And I'm a bit psycho in the head anyway in real life. So when this thing happened, the Soulkiller name came up when I was a bit on the tipsy side. I was on the tipsy side and I was drawing a wrestling singlet while tipsy, and I wrote the name Soulkiller on the back side of the singlet. And literally, next thing I know, I bought the singlet. I bought the singlet from a thing called JJ Wrestling Creations. I think it only cost me 50 quid. But like I forgot about it. I literally forgot about it. But then as time went on, I took a little break from wrestling for 3 months. This was after Golden Boy and everything, personal information that shouldn't really be said on this chat. And I left. But during this little break, I was going to have a photo shoot with a guy called Seb Steed, or Seb Stead, I can't pronounce his last name properly. And he's a well-known wrestling photographer around the country, and he's based in Worcester. And he was going to give me a free promo photo shoot. And during this time, my golden gear was getting too small. My golden headband was destroyed. My robe was in tatters. So I was wondering, what the hell am I going to wear? And I was looking through my wardrobe, and I found this old jacket I wore for Halloween, which ended up being my original Soulkiller jacket. And then I found this beautiful thing in the top of my wardrobe. I literally went, oh, that looks good. So I went over to Worcester, they took the pictures, and when the pictures got released, I remember you messaging me, right? So I said, what is that gimmick? I freaking love that. And I was absolutely over the moon playing this gimmick. So it's just something I've always grown into, and I think this is one of my probably
it's been the one that's been around the longest. It's the one we've kept the longest,
yes.
and we've done a lot with it, because with it being so dark, it fits in with, you can either team with somebody else that's psychopathic like you have done with the outpatient, or you wrestle your typical baby face because it's sort of, it's black and white, isn't it? It's totally the opposite. And I think opposites attract when it comes to wrestling.
I agree. I remember my first few matches of Soulkiller, I was booked in a feud with Phantasmo, who was the Rainbow Warrior, all colours, it's all black.
Yeah, perfect. Like totally the opposite of what Soulkiller is.
Yeah, and
Phantasmo is this he's the Rainbow Warrior, so he's tassels of all different colours and a pink mask, and sort of a tie-dye t-shirt and jazzy tights. It's totally the opposite to the Soulkiller, so just fits.
Yeah, to be fair, I loved working with Phantasmo. I thought he was a great guy. We had so much good chemistry when we were wrestling each other. So it just felt easy, and also wrestling him because he was over with the fans. He's all colours and all joy and everything. It made it easy for me to get attention from the crowd and get them to like him, and then
someone else that's our very own wrestler, that sort of he and us sort of created,
Mm.
between ourselves, and made him our very own star. You know what I mean? Which is, I think, is like booking 101. That who needs to bring somebody over from somewhere else when we can create our own stars in our own area, and the people come to see them because we've created those stars. It's another perfect example of regional wrestling and how it's doing all right for us.
Yeah, and this is something I agree with, because like one thing I always learned in life, you can find the best things right on your doorstep. You just need to look. You just need to look and see. Instead of like going for like the ones that you think, okay, this is good, they're good, but I can mold this person in the direction where we want them to be molded and make a star out of them, which you have done for Soulkiller, which you've done for Phantasmo, Nick Flag, Foxcatcher. You've pretty much molded all these wrestlers that nobody really looks at, and made them stars in our own area, and even up north for DN Wrestling or down south for Ring Wrestling Stars. And it just becomes a joy, and it just becomes something fun to do, which is what we all should do. Everyone should have fun with what we do.
Yeah, that's how I see it. It's like it's a group effort. It's a community of wrestlers running wrestling for wrestling fans.
Mm.
Of your time in HCW/AWA, regardless of the gimmick or what you were doing, if you had to put, say, your top 3 matches of just this promotion, just HCW AWA.
My top 3. Oh, okay. Can I count the ones that I ran under the AWA brand?
Yeah.
Okay. The ones all right, there are 2 that I'm going to put in my top 3 that I ran under the AWA brand. Sometimes I ran wrestling shows under the AWA brand for charity. And number 3 was me against Matt Adams in the Rise of the Warriors tournament. The last one. So the first show I ran under the AWA brand banner. Or HW was back when HW was. And this match stood out for me because it was like a story, a whole story based in one. Like we did a whole tournament throughout the day. I beat Tom Bond in 4 minutes. And when I went to come out to face Maple Leaf, Tom Bond attacked me from behind, threw me off the stage, and threw me through a row of chairs, which hurt my back. And Maple Leaf was just beating the living hell out of me. Just remember, was in front of my friends and family. So seeing a person that they loved getting the living hell beaten out of by a Canadian, they went absolutely insane. And then when I locked in the crossface on Mr. One of my idols, Chris Benoit, and when he tapped, it was a massive reaction. It's something that stuck in my mind because it was something that was really, really fun for me. It was a great story that we told. Number 2, I would say, would be my match against Dan Striker in a 2 out of 3 falls match that we had for the Lightweight Championship at Starport. I think that was back in like 2015.
Yeah, I remember
that. We were having this massive feud going through the whole year. Like, I think we started the feud when I was like infatuated with his manager Sandy Beach, and I was like sending like love trinkets, making music videos and everything like that, which all culminated to this match, and it was a very, very tough match. Dan Striker is a really, really tough opponent, and I managed to win by the skin of my teeth thanks to my cash in was playing. And this is when I joined Wessex Wrestling during the Wessex Wrestling build-up. And this match stuck for me because I was like, during this night, I was like the big loved local babyface, while Dan was like the brash Wessex heel, and we turned each other on the same night. So he suddenly turned to the good side while I turned to the bad side, which nobody expected for me to turn to the bad side. And I think I've been
kind of led to a really good run of you as a villain, really, because that sort of grooming ground kind of thing helped develop you into what you are today. So,
like everybody has like said, Josh, you were born to be a villain. You were born to be a villain. Like, so I literally went. I think I enjoy being a villain a lot more because even though like when I was younger, I was a stereotypical babyface, young. Well, I would say good looking, but a lot of people disagree. And
you'll have to say it because no one else would.
Exactly. And I just found it a lot more natural just to being a villain. I've always been. I've always felt natural in my own way of being a villain. I just can get people to hate me more than I can get people to like me.
I enjoyed the Jet Sets tag team that you had with Tommy and 80s Elliot and things as a babyface, but I think you're a better villain, but I think that's come from as well being a babyface for quite a while and wrestling good villains. That you can pick up things that way.
The thing is, I had people like Cash and Lewis to learn from being a villain. Yeah. So I was one of those guys that literally would just ask questions. I remember turning villain. I just went, okay, how am I going to make this work? I immediately went to Cash and Lewis, who are great villains. Like, Lewis is phenomenal when it comes to advice about being a villain. And he literally told me how to do things a certain way to get a good reaction from the fans. As a villain. And I just took that in the back of my mind and made it work. And I've made it work ever since. And like even the thing with the jet sets, it was just fun to do. It was just fun. But like if I had to put the jet sets, it'll be later on. Like, I'll put that number 4. I'll put the thing on with the jet sets number 4. And number one matches would be me against Nick Flag at Kings Winford. The one that I ran before. And you remember this now, don't you? That was a shambles for sure. Absolute stress. It was stress for me.
Is that the match you wanted to be like 4 days long?
25 minutes I originally did.
25 minutes.
I'll tell you why. I was going to the gym. I was smashing a cardio session. I was feeling a bit cocky. So I literally thought, you know what? I'll do 25 minutes. But then later on, like when it came like the show day, I was feeling a bit tired. So you see, you know what? I'll put 17. We ended up doing like 14 or something like that. We ended up doing 14. It went from 25 to 17, then to 14.
And 7 of that 17 was the entrance.
Yes, exactly. And like, to be fair, I've seen the footage of that match. Me and Nick Flag have always worked well together, and it's when he was in front of my friends and family, we were just kicking the crap out of each other all the way through the venue, and it was just like a very fun night, a very fun match that I really enjoyed, and it's a big memory that I always have in AWA or wrestling, because Nick Flag is like one of the most underrated workers in Britain, and that's my opinion. But I think he has a massive future ahead of him, and I wish him, like, I hope he can get as big as he can.
We've got about 10 minutes to play with at the most, I thought. So just quickly, a few more things to broach. Ring wrestling stars. Yeah.
Well, my memories with ring wrestling stars.
You're normally my travel partner on that one, aren't you?
Yes. I think I should have been on the roads more often for ring wrestling stars.
To be fair, wherever we go, Josh is normally in the car.
Yes. You You always ask me, even if I'm not booked. I think the last time we did Ring Wrestling Stars, I wasn't booked and you just come along anyway. Just come along
my
anyway.
coffee.
Like, we just. Why would you? Oh, my coffee. Yes, indeed. Like, Ring Wrestling Stars, I was there since the beginning when it was Wessex Wrestling. And I don't know why Lewis keeps bringing me back, because I think I'm .com, but I think I'm .com. Like, I've seen those people coming through the door, loads of great wrestlers, and I met a load of great people like Ryan Charles, Paul the Biker,
Yeah,
Casey
he has
Wild.
quite a good mix of people, doesn't he? Because he has like a small crew from us, a crew from one or two Welsh promotions, and then there's his sort of local, West Country crew. So it's a different mix there, isn't it?
It's a good mixture, and also the wrestling style is a bit different. Like, it's more wrestler kind of thing. Like, when I'm like wrestling in Ring Wrestling Stars, it's like pure technical, hard hitting, and all that. Hard hitting. Well, ours is like more like a hardy cam thing, like more entertainment, enjoyment.
Yeah. I've always
Like,
done that with the West Country anyway. That it's a slightly more hard hitting wrestling style down there than it is here anyway. I've always found that since I've been going for Lewis and Eli 20 years ago. I've always had to adapt just slightly. Not a great deal because the way I see it is if I'm asked to go somewhere, I'm asked to go somewhere. I'm asked to go because I'm me. But it's only little tweaks for the crowd and to give them what they want.
Like, I think us two have worked with each other more times in Ring Wrestling Stars than ever. So, like, I was wrestling in Amesbury, and in Amesbury last year, and like I think we were on 4th on the 6-match card, and for the first 3 matches, the crowd were absolutely downright close to silent. Like, they weren't reacting and everything, and like all these wrestlers were coming back saying they were difficult to work. And I remember us two like just talking with each other, said, "Shall we do a handicap, John?" And they just went, "Yeah." And we went out there. You did like the Chinese burn, the nuggy thing, and we got them up, and like I said, and I remember us two like walking to the back, all smoked, and like that was an outcome, wasn't it? Yeah.
We pretty much just did a headlock there, right?
Yeah, headlock. We did like it was an 8-minute match. Everybody else had like 12 minutes and 10 minutes. And with an 8-minute match, we just had them. And another time in Ring Wrestling Stars, like one thing that I was like listening to was a shoot interview, like a podcast, and they said there isn't of good guys and bad guys anymore. Like, people don't really care for good guys and bad guys. But I remember one thing that my biggest argument about that. Just watch the match between me, Foxy, tagging against you and Lacey, and we wrestled for like 7 minutes, and we had them in the hands for 7 minutes, really, and got them. Yeah, enjoyment. It's always been a good time in Ring Wrestling Stars. It's always a laugh. It's always a laugh down there, and I was happy to go back whenever I'm needed.
The other place we go a lot together is DN Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Another one with a totally different mix again. Like, because they have a few from us. He has a few from locally, and then a few from sort of Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire, a bit further out. Another good mix, all friendly, all happy.
Amazing.
It's one of the best. I'll always say that our dressing room is the best because, I wouldn't have people there who I didn't want there. You know what I mean? Exactly. So I'll always say that, but that's because I'm biased. But DN Wrestling is certainly seems to be the happiest. You know what I mean? It's just
like,
it's just
DN Wrestling,
crap bunch of people.
DN Wrestling will always have a special place in my heart because like going up there is always a joy, always a laugh. They've got a great bunch of lads. I've wrestled a few of them, and I had one of the highlights of my career wrestling Paul Malin up there. Like, I remember when I started watching like indie British wrestling, and I saw a lot of Paul Malin matches, like because he was like a staple for a lot of wrestling companies around Britain around that time, and he was like one of those guys that literally thought, I want to wrestle that guy.
Well, I think he's such a nice fella. He really is. He's one of the good ones. And if there was more Paul Malins around, not just talent in the ring, but I mean as a human being, if there was more people like him, wrestling will be so much nicer.
I happily agree with you. Like, Paul is an absolutely amazing geezer. So easy to work with. We had a great match. We had a great match. It was a true highlight. I wrestled like a load of great people down there, like El Desvalido, also known as Joseph Cardinal. Big shout out to him because I think he's an absolute. He made my stuff look more bigger, and he put my stuff over, and he made me feel like a great talent. He's like a Ricky Morton. He was like a Ricky Morton, to be fair, making your shit look good.
That's
it's a bold statement. It is a bold statement. But I'm saying this because that's how I felt when I was doing it, when I did it, and it felt so smooth. It felt so good, and it's one of my favorite matches. To be fair, one of my favorite matches wrestling him in that hall with that El Desvalido. I just loved it. I'm like, I give my props to Bully Boy Carter. He runs a brilliant promotion with a great bunch of lads who I absolutely love being a part of. I'm so happy that I get to do it pretty much nearly every time, which is an absolute joy. I can't knock.
We've got about a minute to go, Josh. Just very quickly, where do you see the future of the Soulkiller and, well, you generally in wrestling, and how can people get hold of you should they need to?
All right. The thing with the Soulkiller, he'll be back, bigger, stronger, more psycho than ever. All you have to do is wait and see. Watch and wait and see. And the way that you can get hold of me, go on Facebook, type in the Soulkiller. You'll see me with a surgical mask and face paint on my eyes, looking like a complete demon. And that's how you can find me. Drop a like. It'd be very much appreciated.
Awesome. Well, it's been a joy to talk to you, Josh.
You too, Johnny.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for watching. On the next episode, we've got the voice of Yorkshire wrestling, really, David Harold, who is a huge wrestling historian as well. Very good friend of mine. He's on the next episode, which will be on Friday. Thanks again to Josh, the Soulkiller. We'll see you very soon in and around the wrestling ring. Thank you. Thanks for watching.